Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Sierra and I'm so glad that you could be joining me today. So, this is a little weird for me. I've never posted on a Monday before, and that's because all through November I'm going to be posting 3 times a week instead of my normal 2 times, so we are adding Monday into the mix. So now you can expect videos from me Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday all November long. And I have quite the exciting video to start out our new 3 times a week upload schedule. So, I posted on my Twitter asking for you guys to send me your unpopular Taylor Swift opinions. And boy did you. Some of these I was like, how can you even think that? So I'm going to go through, I'm going to read them, share my opinion on them, and then at the very end of this video I'm going to share 5 of my own personal unpopular Taylor Swift opinions. This is going to be a fun one. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're just going to start this out with quite the banger of an unpopular opinion, and that is that Miss Taylor Swift creates department store music. And this is definitely coming from people who aren't fans of Taylor Swift, and to an extent, I get it. There are songs of Taylor Swift's that are played in a department store, but I would never agree that she plays department store music until you hear like Champagne Problems and Epiphany walking through your local Target. People who say that she creates department store music are only familiar with like Shake It Off and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. I swear that once you actually dive into her full discography, you just cannot believe that anymore. Our next unpopular opinion comes from what people think the proper etiquette should be during the Eras Tour movie. On one hand, you have people saying that they think everyone should be quiet and seated during the entire movie. And on the other hand, you have people saying that if you want to get up, dance, scream along, it's totally fine. That's what AMC and Taylor Swift said that we should do. I'm kind of torn on this one, to be completely honest. If I was in a movie theater and people were screaming above the movie, I think that would annoy me. I think, me personally, if I had my ideal theater setting for the Eras Tour movie, I think sitting down quietly singing or dancing in your seat. But honestly, for me, I think it just depends on the theater you end up going to and the vibe of that particular theater. If everyone's sitting down quietly, then it would be super rude if you're the only person up dancing around screaming. But alternatively, if everybody in your theater is up dancing around screaming, I don't see the problem with it. It really just depends on the individual theater you end up going to for the showing. Next up, we have an opinion that I actually agree with, and I feel like this isn't even that much of an unpopular opinion. From what I've seen, I feel like most people would agree with this, and that's that Out of the Woods is better than Bad Blood. And I love Bad Blood, I do, but it's just not at the same level as Out of the Woods. Out of the Woods is probably her best single from 1989 in my opinion, not including New Romantics. Our next one is quite the unpopular opinion, and that's that Champagne Problems, the only part of that song that's good is the bridge. I would say that the bridge is definitely one of the best parts of the song, but the entire song is so good. It's so heartbreaking. It's definitely one of my favorites from Evermore. It's just a beautiful song. But to favor the bridge, I feel like is definitely normal for a lot of Taylor Swift songs. Saying that the bridge is the only good part of the song is just wrong in my opinion, but to each their own. The next unpopular opinion is that the song This Love is the best song from 1989. This Love is an amazing song. It's a beautiful song. But in my personal opinion, it would probably have to be either Wonderland or Clean, but This Love being your favorite song from that album is so completely valid. The next unpopular opinion is that the 1989 vault titles are forgettable. And I might get some hate for this, but I completely agree with that unpopular opinion. The only 1989 vault track that before the release of the songs I actively could remember was Slut. All the others I cannot remember. And that's not on any fault of the songs, but the titles themselves are just not the most stand-outish, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's even a word. The next unpopular opinion is that Midnights has the most skips out of any Taylor Swift album. I don't know if I am the right person to give my opinion on this because I am 100% biased when I say that Midnights is my favorite Taylor Swift album. And that's a hard thing for me to say. I love all of her albums. I just feel like I have a more special connection with Midnights just because it came out during a hard point in my life and that was all I would listen to. I do feel like a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of Midnights, but we're gonna get into that later. The next unpopular opinion is something I've seen so many people arguing about on Twitter, and that is that going to the Eras Tour multiple times is wrong. And I'm not gonna even really get into this, it's a rabbit hole. But if you have the money and you're lucky enough to be able to get multiple tickets to go see the Eras Tour, then I think it's fine. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, if you can go multiple times, good for you. The next one, I'm also really not gonna get that into, but that's the unpopular opinion that she's overhyped and overplayed. And as a Swiftie, I feel like I'm just automatically going to disagree with this. I would say there's instances where she's put into the public eye for unnecessary reasons, but that is to no fault of her own. And that's not to say she's overplayed or overhyped. That woman is so talented and her songs are amazing. And I don't know about you guys, but that feeling I get when I'm walking through like a store and a Taylor Swift song comes on is just unmatched. Or like when it comes on the radio, it's just low-key better than turning it on yourself. It's like surprise dopamine of, oh my god, it's a Taylor Swift song. So no, I don't think she's overplayed or overhyped. I think she deserves all the fame and praise that she's getting. This next one is quite the opinion, and that's that she's only popular because there's a vacuum of talent right now. And this is referring to the assumption or belief that there's just no other talented artists, singers in the industry right now, and that's why she's getting so much praise. And everybody has different music tastes, right? Everybody likes different things. But to say that there's just no other talent besides Taylor Swift, and that's why she's famous, is kind of just wrong, like straight up. Like, we live in an era where there's so many talented artists. So many. Like, saying that Taylor Swift is only popular because there's no other talented artists discredits like Beyonce, Rihanna, Selena Gomez, Noah Kahan, like literally every other artist in the industry right now who's talented, who has a massive fan base. So not only are you saying Taylor Swift has no talent, you're saying every single other artist doesn't have talent? I don't know. Let me know if you read that assumption differently than I do, but that's the way I take it. And I feel like, just know, even if you don't like Taylor Swift, that's saying that there's no other good, talented artists. Like, it's okay to not like Taylor Swift. It's okay to think she's overhyped and overplayed. It's okay to not be a Swiftie. But to say that she's only famous because there's no other talented people out there right now in the industry is just kind of wrong. Like, you're also just kind of saying that you don't have any artists that you listen to that you think are good. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just the way I take it. That's my stance on that unpopular opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. The next one is a lighter one, which is good because we've had quite some heavy ones, and that's that the 1989 back covers are better than the front covers. I think, in my personal opinion, I do like the front covers more. I think it might just be because I've been familiar with them longer than the back covers. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below which one you like more, because this is a comment I haven't really seen before. Like, I know people love the back covers, but I didn't know people liked them more than the front covers. Our next unpopular opinion is that Taylor only invites big fan accounts to events. And I'm sure this isn't 100% true. I'm sure she invites some smaller creators, smaller TikTok, Instagram fan accounts to her events, such as like the Eras movie premiere. I think that it is, though, mainly bigger accounts. But I do feel like when we see the people who are going to the Eras Tour movie premiere, so excited for all of them, by the way. That is absolutely incredible, once in a lifetime experience, and they all 100% deserved it. All I'm saying is that I feel like it is more likely for a bigger account to A, catch the attention of Taylor Swift and Taylor Nation, and also more likely to be invited to go. And I think it would be cool if they invited more smaller accounts, smaller fan accounts, but I understand why they don't, because having a larger following typically means that you've been a fan longer, and that Taylor Swift, Taylor Nation have been aware of you longer. And that was the end of the unpopular opinions that I found online. And now we're gonna get into my unpopular opinions. I'm sorry in advance. I feel like some of them are gonna be a little bit divisive, so I'm sorry. Let's get into them. Our first one is that All Too Well is not her best song. and that The Moment I Knew is better than All Too Well. So when I say The Moment I Knew is better than All Too Well, I'm specifically referring to her breakup songs. I love The Moment I Knew. I love All Too Well, but there's just something about The Moment I Knew that just hits so much harder than All Too Well. And I do think that while All Too Well is at the top of her discography, I do think that there's songs that are better. The next one is quite the opinion, and that opinion is that releasing a version of 1989 with a Target exclusive song is a little cash grabby. And I stand by that because when Taylor first announced that she was going to be doing Taylor's version of her albums, it wasn't supposed to be about the money. It was supposed to be about owning her work and owning her masters. And the rollout of 1989, Taylor's version, has been so similar to Midnight's that it's almost like she's rolling out a new album and she's not. And releasing 4 versions of 1989, 4 different colored vinyls and CDs, is so cool. And I love it. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted to buy them all, and I already ordered 3 of them. However, the difference between releasing colored variants of the same album and then releasing a Target exclusive with a whole new song after the fact feels a little cash grabby. I understand that she probably really wants to chart this album at the very top. I get that. It just feels a little bit icky to me, personally. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. My next unpopular opinion goes back to what I said earlier about Midnight's, and that's that Midnight's is her best album. I'm sorry. And that people will appreciate it more in a couple years. I feel like people look over Midnight's now and don't really like it, but I feel like in a couple years from now, people are gonna look back and love it. I feel like that's been the case with Lover, and I feel like it's gonna repeat again with Midnight's. But that's not to discredit her other albums, obviously. I think a very, very close second, almost tied, in my favorite Taylor Swift albums is Folklore. Folklore and Midnight's are just so close for me that it's almost hard to say a favorite. But I just feel personally that Midnight's has a stronger personal meaning to me. The next one is that blaming Taylor Swift for the NFL football coverage is wrong. It's not Taylor Swift's fault that whenever she goes to a football game, all the attention's on her. It's just simply not. If you are a football bro and you're angry about all of the Taylor Swift coverage, I 100% get it. You're going to the game to watch football and not watch Taylor Swift. Take that up with the NFL. Take that up with the people who are actually recording her and using her as their own form of cash grabbing, instead of being angry that Taylor Swift's going to a football game. That's all I gotta say about that one. And then our last one is a lighter one. I have seen a lot of debates online about which Taylor Swift albums go with which season, and I got my own little take on that. So, are you ready for it? We got Debut and Lover, our spring albums. Fearless, Speak Now, and 1989, our summer albums. Red and Folklore, our fall albums, and Evermore, Reputation, and Midnight's, our winter albums. That is my seasonal album ranking right there. And that is also all the unpopular opinions that I have for you guys in this video today. So, if you liked it, please, please, please leave a big thumbs up and subscribe. It would literally mean the absolute world to me. You have no idea. Let me know in the comments down below what unpopular Taylor Swift opinions you have, whether any you agreed with, any you disagreed with, any you strongly, strongly disagreed with. You can follow me on my socials. They'll pop up over here. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!